The F-86 Sabre, considered one of the best and most important fighter jets in the Korean War. It fought off Soviet MiGs in high-speed dogfights. One of the men in charge of keeping them flying was Don Rex from Arvada.
All of the F-86s that flew out of Korea we saw.
He was an airborne radio mechanic stationed at a remote Air Force base on Honshu Island in Japan.
They would come down after flying 100 hours, and we would take them apart. We would take the radios out, and everybody would take their particular piece of equipment out, repair it, make sure it's functioning properly, and then put it all back together again.
Since he was young, he dreamed of becoming a pilot. That's what he wanted to do in Korea.
I just plain didn't qualify.
He decided working on the planes was the next best thing.
You know, I was satisfied to provide the service so that the pilots could talk to each other.
Don had two younger brothers, John and Bob. John joined the Army and served for 18 months. Tragically, he drowned after the war on a fishing trip in 1962.
When John died, that was the big shocker, when he died in a boating accident. And it took me a while to recuperate from that.
By then, the Vietnam War had started. And Don's youngest brother, Bob, became an Air Force pilot, flying surveillance missions over the Ho Chi Minh Trail. He promised to teach Don how to fly when the war was over. Don knew there was a chance Bob might not come home and didn't want to lose another brother.
When Bob volunteered to go overseas, I was partially prepared for that something could happen, although I didn't think that fate would say that it was going to happen to the same family.
It was 1969. Bob was on a volunteer mission to rescue 3 Cambodians working as spies against the Viet Cong, who were under fire.
That's the best picture of the plane. Bob was flying ahead of a helicopter that was supposed to fly in and pick up these 3 people, and took fire from the 3,000-foot mountain over there, and apparently was hit, and the plane caught on fire and crashed.
Bob was 27 years old when he died, the same age as John when he died.
All I could do was just shake my head and say, I've gone through this before, and worked my way through it.
You're my sweet boy. Yeah.
I don't think there's a day that's gone by that I haven't thought of both of them.
Don ultimately fulfilled his dream of becoming a pilot thanks to money he inherited from his little brother Bob.
I thought, well, I'll take some of that money and I'll learn to fly.
He even got a chance to fly the same kind of plane Bob flew, a Cessna Skymaster.
They would have said, you finally did it.
Don's entire family served their country. Their father served briefly in World War I, then held a government job as a postmaster for more than 30 years.
If you spend time in the military or you do government service or whatever, that's a little special offering that you're making. Everybody should contribute something.
He's glad he and his family could do their part.